Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tabletop Pleasant. I'm your host, Cameron Pleasant. Today I have a deck profile for Final Fantasy. Once again, today is Earth Water, one of my favourite two elements to splash together. It's a bit heavier on the Earth side with a bit of water support. It works pretty well for me. I really like using these two colours. You can let me know down below if you can think of any way to improve it, or if you like it or dislike it, just let me know. Thank you. Let's get into the deck profile. Okay, let's get to the deck profile. First up, we have 1 3-drop Opus 1 Cecil. You'll see why later. 3 Walls from Opus 5. I can't say enough good things about Wall. He just, when you're going for combat, he just does so much. You can use it on himself. You can use it on whatever other card you have. He's just really, really good. He can get you in for that last bit of damage too. Like being able to stop your opponent's EX burst is extremely good when you're going for combat. To buff your opponent, to buff your forwards by 2,000 and give them Brave is just really, really good. If you want to have a look, such a good card. And you can choose one forward and deal at 3,000. I don't tend to use that effect, but you never know. Your opponent might have some 3,000 forwards that you want to destroy. Next up, we have 3 Legend Vincents. I always play this in my Earth decks. I love this card. There's just nothing bad to say about Vincent, in my opinion. He's just a good card. He can't be targeted by... he can be targeted. He can't be destroyed. He can't be broken by abilities that break, basically, unless it deals damage. Just so good. And Death Penalty. Death Penalty is always good. We have an extra copy of Vincent. You can play him if you want to. You get to search for a Vincent. So basically he searches his own S ability. I generally like to use him as discard for Death Penalty. But you can play him if you're in a pickle, and then you get to search his S ability, as I say, which is actually pretty good. Yeah, and if you hit the EX burst, you get another you get another Vincent for nothing, for a damage. We played 2 Euphies. We may bump this up to 3, but for now it's 2. That just combos off with Vincent, gives him 1,000 power, gives him Brave, and it's for free. You play it for free if you control a Vincent. Our last Earth Forward, 1 Deleter. This is for late game. So when your opponent targets this with a character, it breaks the character. If you target it with a summon, they take a damage. So if they're on 6 points of damage, that really puts them in a tough spot late game. But it's not something I want to see early on. So I don't play any more than 1. I could play it at 2, but we're going to try it at 1. For the water forwards, we play 3 Rossa. Rossa is good. She searches your Cecil. You saw the other Cecil before. We play the other Cecil for more aggro decks. So if they're getting in with the haste or getting in with their little forwards and you have him on the field, he breaks. So she searches. He doesn't break, he deals the damage. I'll show you. So he deals 5,000 damage, which against those little aggro decks can actually be quite good. But she also searches my other Cecil, which will come up next. But also she has other effects. So choose a forward during this turn when you tap it. The next damage is reduced by 1,000. And if it's Cecil, reduce it by 3,000. So she protects your Cecil, whichever one you have on the field. But she searches too. So for a 4-drop 5k, you get a search for your Cecil, which is a pretty good part of this deck. As I said, the water is the support. Two Legend Cecils from Opus 2. No, I didn't play two of them because it was Opus 2. I only played the two because we got the Searcher. But comboing this, or having that on the field with Cecil, with Vincent, sorry, is really, really good. Because Vincent can already not be broken by cards like Odin, or cards that just flat out destroy. Now this says that Vincent cannot be destroyed by burn damage now, which is extremely good. So Cecil with Vincent on the field is actually really, really good, I like to think. We play, for our last water forward, we play one Ultimecia. Ultimecia is just a card that I really, really like. It's won me so many late games, it's not even funny. If I'm able to destroy my opponent's field, so if I wipe their field with maybe a Shantoto or something like that, then play Ultimecia, then their forwards are coming in dull. Also a really good anti-aggro card. I know a lot of people think this is really slow now, but I still think you play this at the right time, as I've done in the past. Ultimecia steals games. I don't care what anybody says. Okay. We have two dark forwards. Camelot. Bloody awesome card. Bloody awesome. So when Camelot comes out, she searches for a dark card. And then on your next turn, you choose an element during your main phase. And Camelot cannot be targeted by that element, basically. And a lot of the time, your opponent will overextend just to kill Cam. And if they can't, then Cam basically sticks around for a really, really long time. Unless they're able to overpower it, there's nothing they can do to really get past Cam. Shantoto, I suppose, little cards that don't target, yeah, but it's still extremely difficult to have 9,000 worth of damage to get rid of this card, especially when you're not targeting. So Camelot is good. One of Camelot's search options when it searches for a dark card, Nidhogg. Nidhogg is quite late game because of the cost, but I still really like Nidhogg. You want to have 5 backups and ditch 2 cards to play it, obviously, but you can. If you play it, you get yourself for 9,000 forward, you banish one forward your opponent controls and banish one forward your opponent has in his or her hand. And because it's random, they're not getting to select which card they're getting rid of. So Nidhogg is just that good. I personally think a lot of people still don't get it. I know some people are starting to warm up to it. As soon as I saw this card, I loved it. If I can play Nidhogg in a deck, I play Nidhogg in a deck. Okay, that is all the forwards. Okay, so let's get into our backups. We'll start with Earth. 1 Mog. Mog Mobius. So you get to search for 1 forward and add it to your hand. I don't think I need to tell you how good that is. So Mog is good. We have 1 Scholar, another 2-drop. So this one will search your break zone for an Earth summon and add it to your hand. And believe you me, we got some good Earth summons in this deck. Okay, onto the 3-drops. 2 Momodi. I don't need to tell you why we play Momodi. Pay 0, give one of your forwards Brave is just a really, really good effect, I like to think. When you're playing these big forwards, it's just good. And we also play Gigas in this deck, because Gigas basically ices himself or freezes himself when he attacks. So if you give Gigas Brave, he's not going to ice himself, which is good, because Gigas works really well in this deck, and I'll tell you why soon. 2 minor, could bump it to 3. Minor is excellent. Basically, tutors itself for a 2-drop, so you just get a backup back from your break zone. The main reason to play it though is to get a backup you need. So if you want a Shantoto or a Star Sybil or something like that from your break zone, you can, ditch 2 cards or pay 2 mana, whatever your field setup is at the time, and just get what you need from your break zone. We play 2 Star Sybils. I don't think I have to explain why this is a good card. I think everybody knows at this point that Star Sybil is just value. So much value. So you play your Star Sybil for 5. You're already getting value searching your Cam. You can search other cards, but I generally go for Cam. So you can search your Toto with it. And then you can crack crack the Sybil during your next turn, play the Cam, and then Cam will search you your Nidhogg, or it will search you your Chaos, which I also play in this deck. So Sybil is just really, really good. Yeah, just such a good card. If you're playing Earth, I will recommend playing it if you play the cards that go along with it. We play 2 Shantoto. Shantoto is from Opus 1. This card has never been bad. Banish the entire field, of course. Against an aggro deck, it's really good if you can get a few banishes out of it, which you can in this deck because, as I said, I play this card called Gigasmith, and this will not be banished off of Shantoto's effect, which is just extremely good. If you're behind in the game as well, Shantoto just sets you back. Like, if your opponent has a lot of forwards and only a couple of backups, and you've got your backups all set up, aside from one, you play the Toto, you then have tempo, which can get you the win. Onto the water. You have your Artemisian. Basically, your Moogle. If you're not happy with your hand at any point in the game, you can play it and get yourself some extra cards for a replacement for the cards you already have, which is good. Some more 2-drops. Green Mage. We play 3 of those. Choose one action ability, cancel its effect. If there's an action that's really dangerous on the field, it's there. If not, it's a 2-drop. Play 2 Minwu. I know Minwu doesn't see as much play these days. I just really like Minwu, and it's really good for blocking. Like, when you have bigger forwards and you're blocking, you can just block for days, which is just nuts. Minwu is good. And it just sits there. You don't have to think about it. It just sits there. One Battleron. Battleron is good. You draw 4 cards and add one of them to your hand. And so it basically becomes a 2-drop. But you got 4 cards that you get to choose from. So it can get you a pretty good card in your hand. 4 cards is a lot of cards to look at. And you put the rest at the bottom, as you, yeah. Okay, 1 5-drop Una from Opus 1, EX Burst. If you're going up against a deck that, I don't know, for Golbez, for example, or Fire with the Emperor Zunde, you can play Ultimecia, you can play Una, and then you can start banishing their forwards, or their characters, and they don't get their effects off in the break zone. I know not all characters state that they have to hit the break zone, but for certain characters, like, as I said, Golbez or Emperor Zunde, this is really good. Plus, it's a bounce effect, so you got a built-in Leviathan, so it's not bad. The previously mentioned Chaos, as I said, that goes really well with Cam. You can search it with Cam. So when you've cracked your Star Sybil, that's your replacement card for Sybil. So you've got this on the field for cheap. You've cracked that to search. You crack that to play that, search that, and then you can replace your backup. And it taps for any color. Another good thing about Cam, back to Cam, is when he's past turn, when you've got to your next turn, he becomes the element you choose. So you don't actually have to have Chaos on the field to play Nidhogg. You can just play Nidhogg straight away. Not that turn, obviously, but the next turn you can play Nidhogg straight away because this card will be another color. So that's something to think about. But, yeah. Okay, so that's all the backups. Let's get into summons. We've got one Atmos. Atmos is really, really good because it's an EX burst. So if you hit that off an EX burst, you basically can break the monster that attacked because it'll be dull at that point. But you also have the choice of dealing 8k, which is lethal in a lot of cases, to forwards, so they can attack. Maybe they have a 7k, 8k forward on the field. You can crack the other forward so they don't get to attack. So Atmos is really good. The reason I don't play more is because I am a really, really big fan of Titan. 5-drop Titan. Have a look at this bad boy. From Opus 6. This card has won me, I can't tell you how many games. The ability to, I don't know, buff a forward. This is the forward I last used it on, Vincent. Buff a forward to 10k. It could possibly be bigger because we do have Yuffie in the deck. Do the block. This is generally when I do it. I do the block. So he's at 10k, blocks. And I generally do have Minwu on the field too. Do the block, break another forward with the effect. So buffing him to 10, block a 9k or whatever the power is. Deal the 10k to another forward. So that's 2 for the price of 1. So you do get value out of Titan. Plus it's an EX burst, so it's just a breaker on an EX burst. Providing you have something on the field, of course, but generally I do. So Titan is actually just that good. I teched in 3 Hecaton chairs to break backups. I've just realised how prevalent backups are now. So if I'm going up against a mirror match, I can crack their Star Sybil before they get a chance to use it. If I'm going up against Ice, I can crack their Devouts. There are just so many good backups in the game. If I'm worried about someone breaking my backup with their Archer or something like that from Wind, I just crack it before they get a chance. Hecaton Chair has not seen I haven't seen it played in a really long time, but I think it is the time to bring it back. I think Hecaton Chair is just that good right now. We play 1 Cocktrace. Cocktrace is good. I would play it more, but I needed to make room for the Hecaton Chairs. So, I can use that on my Cecil, because Cecil has to block. So I can use it so he doesn't have to block for 1 turn, and then I can save him and try and keep him on the field for as long as I want. I may actually swap it to a Golem at some point, because it seems to be a bit more prevalent in this deck, but still good. And last up, for the summons, we have 1 Golem. Sorry, when I said Golem, I meant Titan, the 2-drop Titan from Opus 1 for Cocktrace. We play 1 Golem. So Golem buffs your forward for the cost of 1 by 2,000, but if you're blocking, which is generally when I use this card, buff it by 4,000. So imagine already 9k from Yuffie. I've got Minwu on the field. I play this, do the block. It becomes really, really big. It becomes 13k until the end of the turn. So my opponent's generally not going to attack anymore after that. And if they do, cool. Okay, last up, as I've showed you before, we play Gigas. 3 Gigas, always 3 Gigas. Gigas is just so good. especially with Momodi and also with Wall, given him Brave. It's insane, and it's immune to Shantoto. So I have 3 of these on the field. So basically 3 forwards on the field, but because they're monsters, I can play Shantoto while they're still monsters, and basically I get to keep 3 forwards more or less, and they lose their entire field. So that's the setup for Shantoto. Is playing 3 Gigases, and then you play the Gigases. Then you play the Toto, and then you proceed to win at that point, I believe. But yeah, so that's the deck. Earth Water, as you can tell, it is very high in Earth, but the water support is important, I believe. Earth Water has always been one of the best decks, in my opinion. And if you like this deck, let me know in the comments below, and yeah, we'll have more deck profiles coming up soon. Thank you.